Did I scare you? Good evening, everyone. Would you like to hear a spooky Halloween story?
Did I hear it's story time?
Yes, we would love to hear a spooky Halloween tale for our bedtime story tonight. Do you know any good ones, Novella?
Yes. Once I knew a little pumpkin who was just like you, Juliette. He had big dreams and never gave up hope.
Oh, I'd love to hear that story, wouldn't you?
Tonight's tale is The Little Pumpkin by Emma Florence Bush.
Once upon a time, there was a little pumpkin that grew on a vine in a field. All day long the sun shone on him and the wind blew gently around him. Sometimes the welcome rain fell softly upon him, and as the vine sent her roots deep into the earth and drew the good sustenance from it, it flowered through her veins, and the little pumpkin drank greedily all of the good juice and grew bigger and bigger and rounder and firmer and firmer.
By and by, he grew so big that he understood what all the other growing things around him were saying, and he listened eagerly.
I came from the seed of a jack-o'-lantern, said the vine to its neighbor. Therefore, I must grow all jack-o'-lanterns.
So did I, said a neighbor, but no jack-o'-lanterns for me. It's too hard a life. I'm going to grow just plain old pumpkins and love them all dearly.
When the little pumpkin heard that he was supposed to be a jack-o'-lantern when he grew up, he grew very worried, for he could not see that he was in any way different from an ordinary pumpkin, and if Mother Vine expected him to be a jack-o'-lantern, he did not want to disappoint her.
At last he grew so unhappy over it that the dancing little sunbeams noticed. "What's the matter, little pumpkin?" they cried. "Why did you not hold up your head and look around as you used to?"
Because, answered the little pumpkin sadly, I have to be a jack-o'-lantern, and I don't know how. All I know about is how to be a little yellow pumpkin.
Then the merry little breezes laughed and laughed until they shook the vine so that all the pumpkins had to tighten their hold not to be shaken off. "Oh, little pumpkin," they cried, "why worry about what you will have to do later? Just try with all your might to be a good little yellow pumpkin and believe that if you do the best you can, everything will be all right. We know a secret, a beautiful secret, and someday we'll tell you."
Oh, tell me now, cried the little pumpkin, but the sunbeams and the breezes laughed together and chuckled.
"Oh no, no, no. Just grow and grow, and someday you will know what we do."
The little pumpkin felt comforted. After all, he thought, perhaps if I cannot be a jack-o'-lantern, I can be a good pumpkin. And I'm so far down on the vine, perhaps Mother Vine won't even notice me. He looked around and saw that all of his brothers and sisters were only little pumpkins too. "Oh dear," he cried, "are we going to disappoint Mother Vine? Aren't any of us going to be jack-o'-lanterns?" Then all his little brothers and sisters laughed and said, "What do we care about being jack-o'-lanterns? All we care about is to eat the good juice and grow and grow."
At last came the cold winter, and the little pumpkins were now big ones, and a beautiful golden yellow. The biggest and yellowest of all was the little pumpkin who tried so hard all summer to grow into a jack-o'-lantern. He would not believe Mother Vine did not see him now, for he had grown so big that everyone who saw him exclaimed about him, and Mother Vine did not seem at all disappointed. She just kept at work carrying the good food that kept her pumpkin children well fed, and she loved them all dearly.
At last, one frosty morning, a crowd of children came to the field.
"The pumpkins are ready," they cried. "The pumpkins are ready, and we're going to find the biggest and yellowest and nicest to make a jack-o'-lantern for the Thanksgiving party. All the grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles will see it, and we are going to eat all the pies made from it."
They looked here and they looked there, all over the field, and pushed aside the vines to see better. All at once they saw the little pumpkin.
"Oh," they cried, "what a perfect jack-o'-lantern, so big and firm and round and yellow. This shall be the jack-o'-lantern for our Thanksgiving party, and it's so large there that there will be a pie enough for everyone."
Then they picked up the pumpkin and carried him into the barn. Father cut a hole in the top around the stem, lifted it off carefully, and scooped out the inside. The children carried it to Mother in the kitchen. Then Father made eyes and a nose and a mouth and fitted a big candle inside.
"Oh, see the beautiful jack-o'-lantern," they all cried.
The little pumpkin waited in the barn. "At last I am a jack-o'-lantern," he said. After a time it grew dark, and Father came and carried him into the house and lit the candle and put him right in the middle of the table, and all the grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles cried.
"Oh, what a beautiful big round yellow jack-o'-lantern."
Then the little pumpkin was very happy, for he knew that Mother Vine would have been so proud of him, and he shone and shone and shone until the candle was all burned out, and they all lived happily ever after. What a sweet and spooky story!
Yes, and that little pumpkin never stopped dreaming, and neither should you, Juliette.
I will never stop dreaming, Novella. And this year, when I pick out my jack-o'-lantern, I'll remember the little pumpkin and all of his big dreams. Happy Halloween, everyone. Good night.